सर पहले जो कहते हैं ना अपनी यूथ का राज बताइए हमको.
Uh, just keep myself young at heart. And my mind is like a student, which is important because I think mind and heart. So mind like a student and the heart's like a child. And I'm always excited to whatever I'm doing in my life. So the excitement keeps me young. And of course, I'm such a beautiful journalist who we both have the same smile. Is going to interview in such a great audience over here early in the morning and all of them looking fresh and nice. So that keeps me young. I was looking forward to this session. Yeah, I always look forward to whatever I do in my life. So I'm looking forward to this conversation which I'm going to have with you.
Anil sir, of all the films that you have done, how did you manage to always keep yourself relevant? You know, in this day and age, I think the greatest anxiety that grips people is that my audience has the attention span of a fish. People are swiping. If in the first 10 seconds you don't grab their attention, they are gone. How have you kept yourself relevant all of these years and continue to do so?
First of all, thank you so much for saying that. Makes me feel even more energetic and young when you say that.
No, if you wouldn't have been, there wouldn't have been so many people here to listen to you.
Well, thank you so much for all of you being here. Well, of course, I started my career in the late 70s, started with bit roles, and 80s, of course, was the time of the, of the single screen and the leading men who were larger than life, about energy, about swag, about songs and music. And of course, I gave my best. I did everything with my heart. I had such good collaborators at that time, good filmmakers who really backed me at that moment. There was Javed Saab who with his stories and scripts. There was Subhash Ghai who made the films. There was N. Chandra whom I worked with. There was Shekhar Kapoor, so I did all these films which became very, very hugely successful. But I always was looking out. I was always conscious that there will be a change. And of course, the change happened and the multiplex came. And the scripts became much more detailed. And the stories were, from more human. Like for me, after playing larger-than-life characters, I had to become more like more human. And the directors like Danny Boyle, Zoya, so I worked with them. I did some films which were, again, left a mark. And I learned a lot. And I adapted myself to the sensibility of those films. And of course, then OTT came, and I took it as a challenge because I feel I was fortunate that everything happened to me at the right time first. I'm very lucky also. The right filmmakers came into my life, the right co-actors came into my life in the 80s, then during when I was doing these films like which were the multiplex films which resonated with the audiences, young audiences all over the world. And they saw me differently. And I was lucky again to work with great co-actors, and I got the opportunity to travel, and I got an international exposure, which was also great. And then because I'd done 24 and had the personal experience of working on it in Los Angeles, and I tried to get those same kind of which is happening today, which was like seasons. And so I had the good fortune of working with Howard Gordon, who was the showrunner for 24. So I learned a lot during being on the set over there. And then when actually OTT started and when Night Manager was offered to me, I grabbed it with both hands because I had gone through it. I had experienced it. So I was not frightened with it, and of course, our job as an actor, my job as an actor is to tell stories with honesty and with truth. No matter what the format is, no matter, it might be the big screen, it might be the small screen, you have to do it honestly, and that's what I tried to do. So then I did Night Manager, and because I'd done 24, for me to do Night Manager became a huge success. I had the opportunity of working with young filmmakers. There was and writers, and great channel, great platform which backed it, and now again I'm doing films which will go to the theaters.
Mm.
So I've been lucky and doing something for the OTT also.
Mm. But when you're looking at
So I think that's what's, it's always the curiosity.
Mm.
And I'm a good listener. So I listen, I learn. I'm always curious to do something which will scare me, which will make me insecure, and dive into it.
Mm.
And that keeps me young also.
When was the last time you felt scared looking at a script?
Sorry?
When was the last time you felt scared looking at a script?
Last time I get scared. Of course I got scared when the AK was offered to me.
Mm.
Because I was playing myself. I was not hiding behind a character. So I was playing Anil Kapoor. But Anil Kapoor, the character, it's the kind of image which people have about me where the audience is concerned. But I had to play that. But actually I'm not like that in real life. What people think I am. I'm not jackass. Now that's become retro. People, when they see me, they think I'm full of energy and excitement. Of course, I have to work towards it. I have to work very hard to get this kind of energy and excitement. So, so then I got, I was scared when I was doing that. And again, I'm doing something which I've never done, which is going to, it's for us, for Netflix. I'm doing it, a show which I'm doing, which I'm very scared because it's something which I've never done. It's a look which I've never done in my entire career.
Mm.
And so I'm scared. So there are certain times when I was very scared when Mashal was offered to me, because here Yash Chopra, Javed Saab are narrating me a script where I'm to be with Yusuf Saab, the great Dilip Kumar, and these are the scenes which I have to do with him. So I was petrified. I said, well, I was almost lost a few kilos listening to the script, and I told Javed Saab, I said, will I be able to pull it off? I said, of course you'll be able to pull it off.
Mm.
And sometimes, being in front of the international unit of Mission Impossible that I did 24, when I worked with international filmmakers, obviously you're scared. English is not a language which actually I speak. It's not my working language, or it's not which I've always performed in Hindi films. I've done Telugu film, I've done a Kannada film, because I like, doing things which I've never done, and which will scare me, which will make me insecure. So these are the things which make me insecure or get scared. So these things have happened in the past also, and I always look out for those kind of stories and those kind of filmmakers who will scare me, and I feel that I'll not be able to put it off, and that drives me to do my best.
When you started working in Hollywood, and then also in streaming, did you find any difference in their work culture? And do you want some of that to be brought to India?
I think internationally, of course, the value for time is very important. That's very important. The prep, I always used to prep, and I always prep. I think preparation is, it's like you prepare hard, you train hard, and you fight easy. That's always been my motto. You prep yourself so much that when you're on the set, you're completely so relaxed and calm. So that really helped me a lot when I was working internationally. The value for time and prep. I used always to prep, but I took it to a different level. And when I saw, when I was doing International 24, that was almost like streaming. It used to be broadcast, but it was 24 seasons, and I almost, so for that I had to prep a lot, because I had to speak all these lines in English. So I had this dialect teacher and an acting coach, and whom I would sit for 5, 6 hours. And then I used to go to the mountaintop and start shouting and speaking those lines, so that the fear and the tension which I had in my nervous system would go away, and I would be able to go and pretend as if I'm not nervous on set in front of 250, 300 people who are completely alien to me, and I'm in front of them, and they know that I am a kind of a recognized face in India. I'm an actor in India, So yeah, then obviously you feel that अभी हिंदुस्तान की इज्जत भी बचा नहीं है ना, you know, सवाल है.
और आप तो कहते हैं आपने उनको थोड़ा सा डरा भी दिया वहाँ जाकर के कि इतना इंटेंसिटी थी that Americans हैंडल नहीं कर पाए.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, हैंडल नहीं करा because obviously I had to be myself. So what I feel is most important for everybody is to be yourself. Don't fake it. You know, you should be the way you are. So that, of course, really helped me when I was doing all those international projects, and today also, when I do work with young directors and filmmakers, I listen to them. I try to learn from them, but I do give my point of view, and I love collaborating, and I enjoy working with people who love to collaborate also, so that I can give my experience and what I feel emotionally. So that's what it is.
What is one thing that we in India, in our artistic world...
So coming to your question, the value of time and professionalism is now, it's there here also, because the stakes have become so, but that really helped me. And prep, that's what helped me. Yeah.
And what do we do better?
Sorry?
What do we do
Emotion. Emotion. You know, our culture, our value system, our family. Nobody can, you know, nobody can touch us in that. Yeah. That's which is, I'm very proud of that. That's what I try to get over there also in my performances, in my friendship, and in my relationship with everybody who I work with. Yeah.
The sheer scale of the kind of actors that you work with, Dilip Saab, you said, Hrithik Roshan, Ranveer Singh, Ranbir Kapoor. Do you see yourself as a sort of a bridge in the kind of actors you have worked with?
Yeah, I see myself as a bridge because I've been so lucky that I am at the center of, I am in this magical profession that I am in, right in the center, where the larger than life hero is, to a certain extent going away, and then there is the multiplex and there is OTT, and I'm right in the center. So I am being flooded, or I get these kind of, not flooded, I can say, but good opportunities coming my way. Flood will be, talking too much, sorry for that word. But good opportunities coming for me, for theatrical films also, for OTT also, and, and of course, I've done a show also on OTT, I did Big Boss, and that was also a lot of fun. And it was, and it did pretty well. So I've done, so I'm right in the center. So in center of all the different generations of actors. I was lucky to work with Yusuf Saab, where, I talk about it like music. He was like a classical, and actor, and then Hrithik is like a rock music, and Ranveer and Ranbir are like jazz. And I'm right in between, trying to listen to them and learn from all of them how to navigate and how to perform with them. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
Do you find it difficult attuning yourself? Like you said, one is a rock, one is jazz, and you're playing along with all of them.
Of course, then I have to be, fortunately little music is there, so I try to get those beats, the way they work and the way they perform, and the kind of work they put in, and why they're such huge stars, and why people love them. And I am right in the middle, working with all three generations, and filmmakers as well as cameramen, DOPs, content creators, worked when my fathers came into this city almost more than 60 years back, listening to his stories about K. Asif. And then, of course, my father used to work for Shami Kapoor, and he was kind of a secretary agent, used to call. So listening to all those stories, and then my relationship with the Kapoors, going to RK Studios. So those stories, those writers at that time, the writers Dad spoke about, and then of course, when I grew up, watching those films made by Guru Dutt, Raj Kapoor, Bimal Roy, Satyajit Ray, Mrinal Sen, then of course Shyam Benegal, Aparna Sen, looking at those films. And then of course, when I was doing my course as an actor, traveling all the way now, we are fortunate that we can, on the fingertip, we can see everybody's work. But I used to go to Pune and to the archives over there and watch those great films over there and learn as much as I can. And of course, as a student also, I've been always been wanting, watching films, and films has been my life. I breathe films. I breathe cinema, and I'm so fortunate that I'm doing something which I love, and I've got, I'm, and you're listening to me. Everybody's listening to me, and I'm here, and I'm enjoying this, and sometimes I'm paid a little bit also for that, and the fame also is there, yeah.
But when you're working with people who are younger, and in this
What do you mean
age-
younger?
slightly younger, a few months younger,
Yeah, you can say that, yeah.
and there is so much scrutiny, PR, you have to go out, publicize. Are there any insecurities, any fears, anything that you have to, say that I have to constantly keep outdoing myself?
See, first
Keep
of
at
all,
it.
you can't tweet yourself into a heart of a person. You can't. It's always about your work. The work. PR is important. It really is important, but it cannot, the truth will come out. The honesty will come out. Your work is your biggest PR. Your work, your performances is your biggest PR. And what you promise, what you deliver, एक आध बार you can scam people. कि मैं ऐसा कर दूंगा, वैसा कर दूंगा, मैं ये कर लूंगा, मैं ऐसा करूंगा. एक आध बार you can scam and make fools out of people, but you can't do it again and again. You're going to get exposed. So you have to be honest, truthful, integrity, discipline, professional, and you should love your work. And I love my work. I just love it.
सर उसके साथ साथ ये भी होता है ना कि भाई अब उसमें डांसर भी होना है, उसमें ऐसे गिटार also, somebody is got 8-pack abs, you have to constantly like
Yeah, we have to be John Travolta, we have to be, you name it. You have to be Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. You have to be, everything into one. And that's what 80s taught us, the stamina, the energy. You have to dance, you have to sing, you have to perform, you have to go in slow motion, you have to fight, do action, with different kind of choreographers, with different styles, different directors with different styles. I worked a lot in films which were made in South, which became big blockbusters. So I worked with M.S. Satyu, I worked with Bapu Saab, K. Vishwanath. So I've been very, very fortunate working with great filmmakers, which I've learned a lot from them. And, I've just, I didn't try to create waves, but I'm trying to constantly kept on surfing, constantly learning, listening, and being a student in mind and child at heart.
most of the films that you have done have ended up being icons of the era that they were released in. A lot of times, and I remember this, Mr. India, we discussed that. Even today, people talk about how it was the first. Hollow Man came much later in Hollywood. We already had a Mr. India. Lamhe, when we think about it now, how did a film like that get made in the 90s? It was unthinkable, a relationship like that being portrayed on screen. Then cut to the 2000s, and you've done Dil Dhadakne Do, which is talking about dysfunctional family. I mean, I thought it was all about loving your family. You're talking about a family that can't bear the sight of each other. Do you consciously go and seek out such films?
You see, I wish I knew what's going to happen, what the future holds for those stories. Some stories resonate at the time when they release. Some stories sometimes will resonate after many years. And, at that moment, those films were not as successful as they sound and look today. Like the films, there are a lot of films like 1942, Parinda, Lamhe, even Nayak.
Yeah.
Were at that time, we were really, the way the trade and the people around us and the media made it out, except for a section which, felt it's good, but made it out that it's not to the expectations. So I always, and at the moment I'm going through that kind of thing, whenever I get a chance, I want to, pass it on to the youngsters, I don't listen to the noise. Don't listen to the noise. You never know where and where the film is going to land. And I've been fortunate that these films have had long legs and people still remember these films very fondly. But at that moment, I was going with my gut. I heard the story. I loved the filmmaker I wanted to work with. I felt the team is great and I should be part of it. And I went with my heart and did it very honestly. that's the truth behind it. Being very honest and truthful, which people can see. It might be on a telephone, might be on television, it might be on big screen. People can see the truth and the honesty.
And such long legs, you know, the chief minister yesterday also spoke of Nayak and said कि आपने नायक बना करके बाकी सबको तो नालायक बना दिया.
Anyway, but ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I think there are great leaders today, great chief ministers who are doing fantastic. Our own honorable prime minister works. His work ethics, so much to learn from his work ethics, his energy, and I always appreciate and love people, and I connect with people who are hardworking and sincere. And well, I think it was just kind of you can't take it seriously. Everybody is Layak and like Nayak, and of course, like even Nayak, when I was doing it, when I thought it'll become the biggest blockbuster when the film released, but it didn't. But it's more than 20 years and people are still talking about it. And yesterday again, the show was about something else and it became about Nayak, which is great.
No, not only they're talking about it, every single election, there will be one reel, one meme which somebody will make, superimpose one Neta's face on Amrish Puri and one Neta's face on Anil
It keeps
Kapoor.
on changing also. So you have to be very careful. क्या अच्छा काम करेंगे तो अनिल कपूर होंगे, और अगर थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ काम करेंगे, and obviously गड़बड़ तो करता नहीं, in time करते हैं, तो then you know how it is. Then you have to be the antagonist. So it's the hero and the villain.
But will there ever be a sequel to that? You know, some of your masterpieces, if I can call it that, isn't there a little bit of जिसको कहते हैं थोड़ा सा लालच आ जाता है कि उसका एक मैं sequel बना देता हूँ इतना.
I have really, to be honest with you, not that I intentionally stayed away from sequels, but for me it's always a story, and I have always chosen the difficult path of trying to do something which is fresh, which is new, which is progressive, and which the filmmaker and the people around are generally wanting to make it. And not only business is important, money is important, but not the main priority. So for me, that hopefully I can see through when people come to me with their projects. And sometimes I also can't, because they are much more intelligent, sharper than me, and I get conned into it. So I've done those mistakes also. But hopefully I think quite a few of my especially I think Nayak has got the possibility of very a possibility. The timing couldn't be better to make a sequel to Nayak. Yeah.
So we're going to see a sequel to Nayak.
Hopefully.
आज का नायक कौन है? आज का नायक कौन है आपके हिसाब से?
इस वक्त तो मैं ही हूँ.
अनिल सर ये बताइए कि आपके जो 3-4 पिक्चरों का मैं नाम लूंगी जो कि उस वक्त के एकदम क्लासिक्स अभी भी हैं, and like you said they've got long legs, and tell us about what your thought was in doing that film and how you look back at them now. Parinde.
Parinda, of course, the director, Vidhu Vinod Chopra, and of course that film was inspired by one of the classics which was made internationally, which was, I think it was Streetcar Named Desire, I think, by Elia Kazan. And I was always a big fan of all Elia Kazan's work. And Parinda was about two brothers, and that time Diwar and Ganga Jamuna, they were my favorite films. And there was something about Diwar and Ganga Jamuna. Obviously, in Ganga Jamuna, it was it's about dacoits, and Diwar was about those at that time cop Shashiji, and this was about these two brothers who. So there was the brothers' emotion, the director, which was, and I could connect with it, and with the story, and I could connect with the role character.
Did you ever feel that
that is about Parinda? Second,
that it's too gritty? Did you feel that the film was too gritty, too dark?
इतना knowledge कहाँ gritty है? Story अच्छी है, कर लो.
Beta.
Beta was again, it was an adaptation, so I would not take the credit for that film it was a hugely successful film called Inga Chinna Raja, which was made by the great K. Bhagyaraj. And I'd done a lot of films written by K. Bhagyaraj, like Wo Saath Din, Mohabbat, and Beta, which have been written, originally conceived इट इज़ देयर आइडियाज. वो अलग बात है कि आजकल फिल्म मेकर्स एडेप्टेशन फॉरेन का भी ले लेते हैं और साउथ का भी ले लेते हैं और अपना नीचे अपना नाम लिखते हैं, रिटन बाय सो एंड सो, डायरेक्टेड बाय सो एंड, एज इफ उन्होंने खुद सोची है. But I was
Inspired.
very inspired. But I was always very clear, and I would give the credit, due credit, to the person who actually the IP belongs to. And that's what I did when I bought 24 also to India, Night Manager. They are original thoughts and originals, and we have adapted it. So I cannot. So I'm scared now. Again, I was talking about the show which I'm doing for Netflix is an original. So doing an original film, and like my daughter also, she always makes all original films. At least the stories and screenplays are original, not adaptations or remakes. And you can't pretend outside that you're such a great filmmaker when you're making a remake. Nothing wrong in adapting it. Even Departed was a, but you can't keep on doing that. So Beta was, of course, because it was an adaptation of a successful film, and the character suited me because all the gay Bagaraj roles would suit me, and I would carry it. They were successful, so that really suited me, and that's the reason I did Beta.
Lamhe. Did you
Lamhe,
ever- did you-
I loved the script when Hani came to Hani ji, Hani Irani ji, narrated the script to me. I just loved it, and I felt it was something which I could connect with, something which I felt very progressive at that time, because I kept on doing films which would, I felt it'll resonate today also, and it'll resonate in the future also. So I felt very strongly about Lamhe, and I did it. Of course, Yash Chopra ji was directing it. That was not only always never been the reason. So it did tick all my boxes. And this is something which I'd never done earlier, of playing young and old, where I'm young, and then I did that when I'm younger to the actress. And then I fall in love with the act, with Sridevi Sriji, who's younger and I'm older. So this kind of a role I'd never done. So I shaved off mustache and I put on weight for the next second half. So that was Lamhe.
But didn't you feel scared that there would be a lot of pushbacks from society? I mean, now in a politically correct time, a lot of people would say, to be in
today,
love with the man your mother loved, that kind of.
it depends on what age and what kind of wisdom and what kind of mentally what you're going through at that time, and what the society and what the country is going through. So at that time when you're younger, you are, just you want a job. So you're not thinking about what the people are going to think. You just want a job. Then a time comes when you become successful, and then you want to work with the big filmmakers and good filmmakers, and then you leave it to them what they are thinking. So you don't put in your bit, politically, I believe in it or no, or what the society feels. You don't have that kind of, you don't want to put your mind so much into it. Because I know I said these great filmmakers, because I've always worked with good filmmakers. So I would give the responsibility to them. And then slowly, steadily, then a period came now, at the moment, I have little conscious of stories and films. Are they generally trying to make the story, or it is a story which they're trying to cash, or the mood of the country, or something which is not actually, what is the intent of making the film? So those films also have been offered to me, but I have very politely turned them down.
Can you give us an example of one such film which you thought was deliberately being provocative, and you,
Sorry?
any such example you would care to share?
No, it's not that. I'm never, when I listen to it, I don't go with the intent, kind of a, कि यार ये thought process है. It might be at that moment people might think that it's kind of a film which the intention of the filmmaker is not what he really projecting, but I listen to it with open heart. But I come to know, and I feel that this is not the right time to do that film. So I don't want to, name the films and, run down those people. I don't know. They might be having good intention when they're making the film. So why should I be judgmental about it? But I have turned down quite a few of the roles.
Okay.
Music. R.D. Burman's music. Straight, simple. I did the film only because of the music. Nothing else.
Okay. And finally, Dil Dhadak Hai. Why did you do it?
Dil Dhadak Hai, I didn't want to do it. I never wanted to do it. I just, at that moment, I was going through a stage where, looking at the way, because they can stereotype you. They can put you into a kind of a so-called bracket of, there'll be, roles are drying up, and
Dad role.
Dad roles. So that was one of the reasons, and so I felt they might bracket me into that. So I weighed pros and cons, and I said it's a fantastic role. The director is great, the co-stars are good. So let me dive into it. And I gave my best, and it turned out to be good for me. And so I did it. And then, of course, what followed were a lot of films which were offered similar to Dil Dhadakne, but I turned down all those films. And I did comedies. I did something which I've never done. So I kept on, when I feel that someone is trying to trap me into an image, I try to break that image. They think they know me, but then they go on screen and they say, oh God, they don't know me. So that's what I've tried to do in my career. I always, treaded and dared to evolve, listen, and be with the time, with the young filmmakers, actors, and do something which really scares me, which I've never done.
You know, when you're taking so many challenges, the downside of that is that sometimes things could go wrong, and then, you'd be open to criticism.
Yeah.
Being in the film industry, everyone thinks they have a right over you, they have an opinion about you.
So I'm human, of course. Criticism does affect you, and reviews also sometimes affect you. But I don't take success too much to heart. Neither do I take criticism. It doesn't completely. It makes me more aggressive, more energetic, more angry. That I'll prove this person wrong. That's the way I look at it. I don't take it in a negative way. I don't go into sadness, or it must be a few hours of feeling bad about it. But next day, next morning, it's a fresh day. I'm excited. I'm raring to go. I'm going to perform. I'm going to be in the front of the camp. Someone's going to say action, and I'm going to perform a different character. And they're going to say cut, and क्या shot दिया. That's it.
But पहले सिर्फ एक Friday to Friday आपका एक होता था कि film review आएगा paper में. Now everything is instant. Social media has made it almost instant. Anything that ever impacted you and you said,
So you have
this
to
is
block.
too much?
You see, the thing is, there is always going to be noise. And you cannot be, as a celebrity, as a star, people are going to speak about you, people are going to write things about you. How you don't listen to noise, how you block your noise, it took me more than 45 years to learn all these things. How to block it, how to do it, how to relax.
Earlier it used to impact you.
It depends on phase to phase of my career. Earlier it's to impact you. I'm sure it must be happening to youngsters also. And that's when I meet them, I tell them, I said, kuch nahi yaar, kal jayenge, sab bhul jane wale. Like I remember when I was shooting on the set of Animal, and Ranveer came, and his film Samshera had just released, and he was very down. And he came, I said, yaar, sab aise mujhe dekh rahe hain yaar, itni badi flop di hai maine. Maine kuch nahi yaar, ek acha shot dete hain, kal tak bhul jaye, sab bhul jayenge. And that's the time we were doing the photo shoot. And I told him, I said, don't take it too hard, yaar. You are imagining that the people are thinking. Nobody's got, It's just once you're accepted, once you're doing honestly work, because success and failure is not in your hand. You just go and do it honestly. And that's what happened. Next day, we were talking about everything else. We were talking about how to do the next scene. We're jamming with Wanga Saab. And we did those scenes, and Animal happened and became a landmark blockbuster. And people forgot about Samshera. People now remember him only with Animal.
But Animal got a lot of criticism as well.
Huh? Sorry?
Animal also got criticized a lot.
A lot of films. I'll tell you what the films, also many of my films have got so much of criticism.
Like?
So this keeps on. You name it, come on, बताओ मुझे. कोई ऐसा नाम लो.
अभी हमने लिया दिल धड़कने दो, Animal.
दिल धड़कने बोलो यार थोड़ी यार क्लाइमेक्स अच्छा नहीं था उसका यार. थोड़ी लंबी थी यार.
अच्छा.
Yeah. It's not as good as जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा. But I feel it's got as long as जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा. तो ये सब चलता रहता. आप बताओ और next.
बेटा.
हाँ?
बेटा.
They called it Beti. It became Beta. I won the best national award. बताओ next.
आप तो पूरा IQ जी के टेस्ट ले रहे हैं.
बोलो.
Okay, name your favorite films. Come on.
क्या बोलो. हाँ? Ram Lakhan was an exception. It was a blockbuster. From the day one, the people have loved the film. It's, and I'm very proud that people say it's Subhash Ghai's best film. अरे बोलो यार चला. हो नहीं shh मत करो. That's the energy I want. Don't do shi. Ishwar, when it released, it was an adaptation of a K. Vishwanath film which Kamal Haasan had done. And what Kamal Haasan paid me the biggest compliment, he says, मुझे ऐसा लगा कि विरासत एंड ईश्वर कि हमने हमारी एक बेटी है और वो करेक्ट जगह she's got married to the right person and is being taken care of. And so, his Kamalji's fans came and, obviously people can get very aggressive, no? Especially the fans. So they were very happy with it. So Ishwar was a film, I remember I was in Hyderabad shooting and it was a smash hit, a very, I could never imagine that this kind of film will become such a, on the day one, and people should clap and all. So Ishwar was an exception, yeah. Virasat also was an exception. I remember when unfortunately I was not in the city when these two films released. Otherwise, मेरा दिमाग खराब हो जाता. So I don't even know about the success of those films because I was doing shows or shooting some other film. And I remember that people used to just throw money and stand up. And when I used to change and become like Amrish Puri and come in Virasat, one of my favorite films also. And there's a great story because I wanted Yusuf Saab to do Amrish Ji's film, that role. I wanted Rajkumar Ji wanted to do him to do Ishwar. The role which ultimately Amrish Ji did. But when I see Amrish Ji, nobody can be a better Mogambo. Nobody can be better than what he did in Virasat. And nobody can do, Nayak wouldn't have been Nayak without Amrish Puri. I can say that. Yeah.
Without both of you.
Absolutely. And Mary Jung also. So I've
That
done
too.
some fantastic films with Amrish Ji. May his soul rest in peace. He was a lovely human being, fantastic guy. And I take this opportunity to say such great things about the great Amrish Puri. Mogambo Hoshua. Sorry? Sorry? Thank You for Money was selected for the Toronto Film Festival. It was loved by the international audience, but the Indian audience didn't love the film. In box office, it didn't do well at all.
We got Pukar from there.
Sorry? Pukar, yes, I won the national award for the best actor, and I loved working with Rajkumar Santoshi. And Madhuri, when I was shooting for the film, I came to know that she's getting married. And during
Okay,
the
one
shooting-
last film, this gentleman here.
My Wife's Murder, Roop Ki Rani Chorong Raja, obviously a film which really shook our entire family. It was one of the biggest debacles of the century. Didn't do well, and we really worked hard. And everybody else surrounded the film took it too hard, but I was again working on my next. Sorry? Huh? Pallavi and the Pallavi is a Kannada film which I did. It was Mani Ratnam's first film. And Ilayaraja's music, which is still has lived till today. The music is fantastic. The song is still today. Wherever I go to Kannada, I go to Karnataka, wherever I go, that song is played. Fantastic music. Mani Ratnam's first film, my second film. First was in Telugu as a leading man, the second was in Kannada. Haji? Welcome. Yeah, Majnu Bhai. Yes, of course. Huh? I have not made that painting. But I love playing Majnu Bhai. Yeah, I love playing Majnu Bhai. And if you see there are certain times when you take so much from your failures also. In certain films which you have done, you worked hard. Like Avargi I had done with Mahesh Bhatt. But if you see what I've done in that film, with the way I walk and the way I perform, that was a very serious version of what I played in Welcome. But a lot is from Avargi. My walk and my swag is from Avargi. Nobody saw the film. So I used that, what I learned from there in Welcome. And uske baad, when Allu Arjun is walking like that, bolte Allu Arjun ka style hai. Bhaiya, apan ne pehle shuru kiya hai wo.
You should have told Allu Arjun, मैं छोड़ेगा नहीं.
Yeah, that's his. वो उसका style है. ये मेरा style है.
But even the chashma became quite an icon.
Yeah, there is a history behind that also. I was in London, and one of the Sunita's friends presented me with that. Was not sunglasses, but glasses because I keep on losing my glasses. So this is something which you can hang around the neck also. So I said, ye diya. So then she bought me a pair of these sunglasses also. So Anis Saab, I showed it to Anis Saab, and then I said, this is the kind of thing. So I said, can I use it in the introduction? And I said, yeah. So that's my introduction. I look like this. open the eyes. And that's become a very iconic visual of Majnu Bhai.
Of all the reinventions that you've done, which has been the most difficult for you? Has it been your image, your craft, or business?
See, image you can change with one haircut, you know. या बाल लंबे कर दिए, अरे यार image change हो गया, correct? Business you can change with one phone call, but it's the craft which you have to keep on improving. You have to prep for it. You have to keep on. It's a slow burn. So the craft is the most difficult part. The craft. Keep on upgrading your craft.
And when you see actors in Hollywood, do you feel jealous? Do you feel motivated? Do you
I
feel
feel
like,
jealous. Of course, I feel jealous.
like who?
Whenever I see a great performance, I feel jealous, and then I keep on watching it. And then I said, how can I do it better than this? So I just keep on doing it, of course. But you get motivated also.
Like who's the person you last remember where you were like, yaar, ye karna chahiye?
I'm looking forward to Daniel Day-Lewis's new film, which is, I can't pronounce the name. मेरी थोड़ी अंग्रेजी मेरी कुछ इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. So I can't pronounce the name, but the son film, which his son is directing, I'm looking forward to that film. I always look forward to all his work, and I have always loved all his performances. And Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, I'm a great admirer of their work. And of course, even the way Denzel Washington has done quite a few of his films, and his performances are great, absolutely. So these are the actors I look forward to whatever they're doing next year.
If cinema is going to change in another 5 years, where do you place yourself in that?
Why 5 years? Why not next 20 years?
Sure, 20 years.
So I'm going to
That's
be
the real Amrit Kal.
so fortunate. I hope I'm around, and someone says action, and I'm in front of the camera. And of course, I feel, being honest with you, I want to be, to a certain extent, trying to tell stories and build a kind of being a bridge among all the younger actors, and you know, encourage younger actors to come on the fold. Filmmakers have collaboration. I'm planning a collaboration, Indo-Australian collaboration, Indo-Korean collaboration, Indo-British collaboration, and I'm working on them, and they're going to happen very soon. And working with the talent, which I've always done across, and telling our stories which can travel. I'm doing a big show now. I'm producing it, and I'm very confident that it's going to travel all over the world. Yeah. You know, making the company which is for, you know, all of us, the entire team, my children are always looking out for stories and scripts. Like Ria has always made films which are with girls, and she's the only producer who's done that. She's done Aisha, Khoobsurat, Veere Di Wedding, Thank You for Coming, and now Crew, which have been, most of them have been very successful. I'm looking forward to her next. Not that I know what she's making, but she's sounding a little excited about it. She's sounding, for a change, very happy that she's got something. My son is working on something. He produced Thar. Now he's producing another film, a small film. His thinking is completely different. My thinking is slightly, so we, all of us, Sonam, myself, everybody, the whole family, my son-in-laws, both the son-in-laws, one son-in-law is in business, but obviously there's so much to learn from him also. And my Riaz, Karan, who directed, and so, you know, there's a lot of stuff, and the other filmmakers and writers whom I'm working with. I'm working with Suresh Triveni, you know, his next film, which is going to soon release, called Subedar. I'm very excited about it. Is, I think, one of the finest filmmakers I've ever worked with. And you'll be surprised. He is the one who directed Tumhari Sullu and Jalsa. And his next film I'm looking forward to, which I'm fortunately, nobody knows about it, but I'm looking forward to that film.
But now we know.
And
Tell
then,
us a
of
little
course,
bit more.
And then there is Shiv Ravel, H.S. Ravel's grandson, Rahul Ravel's son, another director I'm working very, I really enjoyed working with him. And of course, I'm working for a big show, which Hansal is directing for Netflix, which I'm very excited about. So, a lot of collaborations, a lot of production work, a lot of mentoring, and being mentored also. Still a student, so all these things are happening. Great things, great collaborations.
But
Looking
now,
forward.
moving forward, do you know, you also must be at this point thinking about the legacy that you're leaving behind. Is it about cultural impact or constant freshness that you're bringing to this?
No, I think you see, you just have to keep on working. Yeah, legacy, you can't work towards a legacy. You just keep on, it's others to say it's my legacy or his legacy or the company's legacy. You just have to keep on enjoying your work and working, you know, and take every day as it comes.
In this time, all of us are thinking AI. Everyone keeps talking about AI. AI is going to take our jobs. Is there ever any concern as an actor that there is a threat of AI?
See, whenever any new
Animation, AI is going to-
whenever there's always a new technology or anything comes, everybody is frightened about it. And then slowly and steadily they know how to, you know, then it becomes a tool. Because AI, it cannot, you know, heart, timing, AI cannot replace that. And it's like you use that as a brush, but if you want to make a painting with a heart, you need that human touch to it. So you have to use it properly and you know, and be wise enough to how to use it, what to use it, and keep on learning more and more about it, and don't get frightened about it.
You don't think there'll be a robot or an AI Anil Kapoor taking over your job tomorrow?
नहीं, मैंने तो केस जीत चुका हूँ, उसके पैसे देने पड़ेंगे उनको.
All right, on that note, Mr. Anil Kapoor, thank you for being you, always down the years, and we
Thank
hope
you.
another
Thank you so
50 years of you.
Thank
on
you
the
so
screen.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.